Following up on a story we gave you back in February, a Southern Oregon woman has dedicated her life for the search of her brother's remains after he died during the Vietnam War. Newswatch 12's Cameron Baber joins us live in studio to tell us what has happened since we last spoke with Linda and what's next for the family. Cameron.
Thank you, Haley. So for those of you who remember this story, the last thing we learned was on Linda's last trip to Vietnam with her family, they went to the crash site and the supposed burial ground of her brother Mickey and the other pilots. And while they were there, they found a pair of army green pants. They shipped them back home and had them analyzed.
Well, what happened with the pants is that we did have them analyzed and they were not Nomex. But they are military army green color, and only 2 of the men were wearing Nomex, and 1 pair of pants from the crash site was never accounted for.
Linda has spent her whole life searching for the rest of her brother's remains. The only thing her family received after he died was a book of what was left, 5 teeth.
We were sent teeth and circumstantial evidence. They closed the case. That circumstantial evidence is not good enough. And so they still remain in Vietnam.
Linda has been to Vietnam 12 times since her brother passed. She's met so many people and made so many connections, all to help find her brother's remains. At one point, she thought she was going to receive them from a man she met that knew she would travel back to Vietnam.
And so we made arrangements to meet the next morning and go to get these remains, and the guy did a no-show. And I don't think it was his idea. I even offered him money and he didn't want it. He said he just wanted to help.
After learning where the burial site is from a woman who knows the full story to what happened to Mickey in Vietnam, they visited that area on their most recent trip, which is where they found the pants.
My sister-in-law is there right now. I sent her back to talk to this woman. The woman said, she's adamant they are still there. She's not changing her story. She said they're there.
So what's next for Linda and her family? After speaking with veterans who are also confused about Mickey's death, they suggest her to get a cadaver dog to help search the area.
We always say that we're going to bring them back. Well, they're not doing everything possible to bring them back. But I am.
So from her lifelong journey, Linda has made friends that could help her get these dogs to them. But bringing these type of cadaver dogs all the way to Vietnam is pretty expensive. So Linda and her family plan to set up a fundraiser to get the money to pay for these cadaver dogs to travel to Vietnam and hopefully find something that gives Linda and her family closure on the death of her brother Mickey. Reporting live in studio, Cameron Baber, Newswatch 12.